Welcome to Football-Oranje. Today we're going to talk about the Dutch national team. Who would you start in a Netherlands starting 11 if you had a game tomorrow? Well, that's a question we're going to answer today, having seen all of your responses on Twitter and YouTube about who you would play in a starting 11 if you were Ronald Koeman. So I'm here with Charlie, and Charlie, I was just going to get your opinion about some core positions, because I think the first people you would put on your team sheet, wouldn't they surely be Matthijs de Ligt at centre-back, Virgil van Dijk at centre-back and Frenkie de Jong in midfield, because they've had such fantastic campaigns so far?
Of course, yeah, they've all been brilliant. Starting with Van Dijk, he's been integral to that Liverpool team since his signing this time last year. He's taken them to a Champions League final. I think he's been really part of that, so we can't shy away from that. Then in the start to their season, they only just lost against Man City the other day. It was their first loss in the Premier League this season, and he's just been his impact at the club, according to fans, pundits, everyone, has just been seismic. So for sure, Van Dijk, and then partnering him, de Ligt, he's been brilliant. He's now starting to get a lot more exposure to the wider European audience, and then his teammate in midfield, Frenkie de Jong, as well. Talk of his transfer in the summer. Wide speculation there, and they're just all brilliant players, and they've all got so many different strengths, and I can definitely see them being part of this kind of revolution that's going on under Ronald Koeman.
Absolutely. Van Dijk's had such a good campaign, hasn't he? And then these two Ajax lads, they've just gone from strength to strength. I think let's talk about the goalkeeper's position. I put a few polls on the Football-Oranje Twitter to get some fans' opinions about the formation that should be played and who should be playing in goal. Now, for the formation, everyone went with a 4-3-3. It won with 58% of the votes. So that's why we're going to be performing our 11 players around the 4-3-3 position. And the second poll as well was that Jasper Cillessen would be the fans' choice to be playing in goal. 77% of the vote over Jeroen Zoet, the PSV goalkeeper, who'd be second choice. Do you agree with that, and that Cillessen should be the first choice?
Yeah, I do agree with it. Could the Netherlands national team do with a better goalkeeper who's playing at elite level week in, week out? Yes. But you've just got to break down the caps, I think, and look at Cillessen's experience over Zoet. It's 43 caps to 11. He does play for a bigger club. No disrespect to PSV. I know he's only made 24 appearances for them, only 2 of them in the league since he joined the Catalan Giants. But I just think all round he's a better stopper, and that kind of relationship he has with the back four through playing so many games already under this short stint with Koeman will just stand the team in good stead. And I think continuity is the best policy at the moment. Zoet has made 74 appearances at PSV. He's been in the team since Cillessen moved to Barcelona. But I would agree with the poll there.
Yeah, for sure. It's almost a no-brainer. I guess Jeroen Zoet does have that consistency, but Cillessen is training with all these world-class players as well. Let's talk fullbacks. Let's talk right-back and left-back. I think right-back, we can both agree that Denzel Dumfries is the obvious choice. Now that he's risen up at PSV and there's a lot of injuries to the likes of Rick Karsdorp, for example, and he will become the first choice there. He's also a young player, isn't he, at PSV, and playing really well. But let's talk about left back. This is one of the toughest decisions that we can make, I think, in the team, and it does matter as well because Daley Blind's been such a good servant for the Dutch national team, and to date he has 60 caps. That's a lot of experience compared to, say, Patrick van Aanholt, who has 9 caps. But I think a lot of people are calling for Van Aanholt to play a lot more games for the Netherlands. And again, our third poll we had on Twitter, Patrick van Aanholt won 46% of the vote. It was close, over 36% for Daley Blind. Who would you play in the left-back role and why?
I'd play Daley Blind. He'd be my choice. I might be a bit biased because, as a Man United fan, he was one of my favourites at the team. He was just so assured, so calm. He was versatile. He always gave you a decent performance. I think his consistency is one of his best attributes. And at left back, he's had a lot of success in his career. I think that his capability to transition into attack is decent. He can read the game really well. He's just a reliable player. Having said that, the Van Aanholt question is intriguing because he's quite an exciting player. I know he's developing a bit late. He's always been a prospect, but what he could offer down that left flank is definitely a lot more pace, incision. He can come inside and ask defenders problems. He's just a bit more of a frightening prospect. I don't think defences would like to deal with him. Since the beginning of last season, 6 goals and 3 assists for Palace. He's become a fantasy Premier League first choice left back, a favourite for people like me who are using that app. And there's potential there. But again, I think it's like with the Cillessen question. Go with a player that's going to give you a bit more consistency and continuity. Again, would be best for Koeman.
Okay, interesting. But I'm actually on the Van Aanholt side of the fence, and that he is a more reliable option with the attack. And he may make mistakes, but I think fans are getting a little bit tired of seeing Daley Blind making mistakes for the Dutch national team. And perhaps left back is one of those positions where he can be caught out as well. With runners into the box, having to head balls away, it doesn't really suit his strengths. But I think another option, which could be interesting, is Jetro Willems, who plays for Eintracht Frankfurt in Germany. The position's there for the taking, and he was always the choice that people wanted for left back. And he did get 12% of the vote as well. He's an option that, if he can get fit, firing, and playing really well in Germany, then the position's his for the taking. But he has yet to really play up to that form and that expectation. And interesting, a few of the comments are that Nathan Ake playing in that position. I don't think he has the agility for that position. I think he's much better at centre-back, and also a very good option at centre-back, along with the likes of Stefan de Vrij. But left-back I don't think is for Nathan Ake. Let's talk midfield. Now, we've already established that Frenkie de Jong is one of the big reasons why the Netherlands have done so well in 2018, and he should continue there in 2019, as he's going to get a big transfer hopefully soon. Who else plays there, though? Who else plays in that midfield trio, if you like? We've got de Jong, but who are the other options? I guess one of the main ones would be Wijnaldum in the 10 position, but who else completes that midfield for you?
I think Martin de Roon has really risen to the occasion. He provides some industry which counterbalances de Jong's technique really well. You mentioned Wijnaldum in the hole, attached as a number 10. That would be what I think I'd go for. De Roon's used to playing with Alejandro Gomez at Atlanta. I know a different player, but kind of in the same position to kind of make a nice triangle in that midfield. And it works well. He's made his way into the team, and Ronald Koeman definitely sees that as well. So I think Wijnaldum, if he's to move to a more advanced position, he can definitely grab more goals and assists. And he's been really important for the Netherlands under Koeman so far. And Wijnaldum's another player like Van Dijk. He's flourished at Liverpool under Jurgen Klopp. He's got better and better. He's turned into a really important player at elite level in the Champions League, obviously. But again, going back to de Roon, I think that Netherlands midfield just looks really great. It's got a lot of variety, and it's certainly something to build upon going forward. It's got a good blend of experience and obviously the youth of de Jong. Yeah,
de Roon was a bit of a late bloomer, having a transfer to Italy. Didn't go so well for him in England, did it? But back at Atlanta, and he's playing really well. And I think, he does deserve that starting position. I think we should also make clear here to those that are watching, listening to this, that the midfield three does also depend on who's available and also who the team are playing. I think de Roon is one of those players that's better in a Netherlands team that's playing a bigger side, a Germany or France. But you might look at other options such as Davi Prupper if he's fit, the Brighton midfielder, to complete that midfield if it's a bit of a different opponent, one that they are expected to beat and beat well. You might have a more attacking midfielder in there. But I think, if you're going to pick a strongest 11, you're looking at de Jong, de Roon and Wijnaldum as a midfield trio. Some of the other options might be Donny van der Beek, Pablo Rosario, Tony Vilhena, each from the Netherlands' top 3. But Kevin Strootman's been a midfield option for many, many years. He has, to date, 43 caps for the Netherlands. But I think it's pretty clear now that his future's not in an Oranje jersey anymore. Yeah,
and with some of the youngsters coming through, you mentioned Van der Beek and Pablo Rosario, they're definitely going take the initiative and get some caps in the future. It's just been really frustrating with Strootman because, many years ago linked with the top clubs, and it's obviously injuries have hampered his career. I just like how you mentioned Rosario and Van der Beek because those two players are very different. Rosario could hold, he's got a lot of muscle, he's a real big presence in that midfield. Van der Beek's similar, he's physical as well, but he could be another player to play in that number 10 role if you're looking in the friendlies to blood the youth, if you will. I think with the quality that's coming through in that midfield position, Strootman would really have to reignite his career to get into that team under Koeman.
Yeah, agreed. Let's talk the front three then. So we've got to have a striker and two wingers. And I think it's pretty clear that Memphis Depay has to be leading that line. There are other options too, the likes of PSV's Luc de Jong, top goal scorer in the Eredivisie, Wout Weghorst in Germany, and also Janssen. But he hasn't had the form with Tottenham or with anybody to warrant playing for the Dutch national team at the moment, despite being irregular in the past. So I think Memphis Depay's got to be the striker in this team. But how does he play this position so well? How has he done so well as a striker?
It's a lot down to him. He's trained really well. He's got a desire, and he's now applying a lot of the talent he has. He's playing in a team in Lyon which is conducive to his strengths. There's a lot of pace, counter-attacking at times. He scores a variety of goals. He's not afraid to put himself out there and score some wonderful free kicks. He took the initiative to take a penalty against France at the Kuip, and I think he got Panenka against Lloris, which was brilliant. And he's just really taken his game to the next level, back to reminiscent of what he was doing at PSV. I know he was on the left there, but when he was grabbing all those goals, and he could make some great runs too. If he's got the quality of De Jong and Wijnaldum finding him, then he can play up there. The preference, I think, would be to have him out on the left and then a really good striker coming through. Down the years you had Van Persie, Van Nistelrooy. De Jong would be a bit of a risk now. I think that the team's well set having Memphis up front. And long may it continue. He's not got a goal since mid-November, but with Lyon coming back from the winter break, hopefully he can kick on for the rest of the season and lead up well to summer.
We often discuss on our podcast that Memphis Depay is playing really well for the Dutch national team. He loves playing for his country, but he'd be even better if he was playing out on the left-hand side and he had a striker coming through the youth team that can play in the middle. But unfortunately, there isn't one of those at the moment. It might take a couple of years for example, Redon to come through or Pirot from PSV, but it's not going to happen for a little while, and we're looking at Memphis as being that option going forwards that can lead the line. He's done it so well though, and as I say, he's just so passionate to play for the Netherlands that it works really. But who flanks him? I've got a list of options here that have been picked in recent months and years by Ronald Koeman. You've got Steven Berghuis at Feyenoord, Aljero Elia, Dan Juma, the guy coming through now in Belgium. You've got Promes, of course, Justin Kluivert, Ryan Babel, and Jovado Dilrosun is a newer option as well, making his name for himself at Hertha Berlin. But I think we should start by talking about Steven Bergwijn, who's just been on fire for PSV, and he's looking like he's going to demand a big transfer fee in the summer, perhaps to an English club. I know Spurs have been interested. But who out of those list of options I just gave there is going to be flanking Memphis Depay?
Well, it's a really big question. I know Ryan Babel's been playing there more often than not, and was in the team as the Netherlands did really well in that UEFA Nations League group. I'd like to see Bergwijn in there for sure. For PSV on the right hand side, I had the pleasure of seeing him against Heerenveen in November, and that kind of trademark run he does against his opposite number, who's normally a left back. He just runs around them and either cuts it back to De Jong or Lozano, or actually goes alone and scores a goal like he did at the Kuip in the 2-1 loss against Feyenoord last month. He's going from strength to strength. He can offer you versatility. I think a lot of Dutch wingers can play on the left and the right. Growing up, they just are used to playing wide, and they are very versatile. And that's why I would put Bergwijn in there. Promes has had a really poor season. He's made 11 substitute appearances in La Liga and only 3 starts, failing to get a goal or an assist. His only goal coming in the Europa League. And that's why I think Bergwijn has to get it. I think he's earned it. He's deserved it, and he's probably becoming a better player right now. On the left hand side, it's a lot more difficult. As I mentioned earlier, it would be great to have Memphis there and then a striker up down the middle, obviously. But it's probably going to be Babel. As again, reasons of continuity, and maybe because there's no one else that you'll probably bring someone in, I'm sure, who would be a viable replacement. But then if you're talking about Steven Berghuis at Feyenoord, yeah, maybe. But I just stick with this front three.
Yeah, for me, I know that you're a fan, Charlie. Mike's a fan as well of Ryan Babel, but not for me. I just don't think it brings enough to the table in terms of the attack. I think that on either side of Memphis, you need to have Steven Bergwijn, who's been exceptional this season. And on the right-hand side, I probably would play one of the new guys. I think either Arno Danjuma or Jovaldo Dilrosun. I think he's only had one cap so far for the Dutch national team to date. But he's doing so well with Hertha Berlin, and he's made such a good decision leaving Manchester City to go to Germany and play loads of games. And I think if you can blood him, he is one of the best options that the Dutch national team has on the wings going forward. If he can fulfil his potential, I think Promes isn't warranting a position with the Netherlands at the moment. I don't think he's been good enough for Sevilla, which is a shame because a couple of years ago, if you asked me the same question, I would have said Promes definitely needs to play there, maybe even in attack with Memphis. But now it's not looking like it's going to work out for him. I think that completes our 11. But there are so many other choices that we could have put in there, and I think at the moment that this 11 probably is the best that the Netherlands have, and they play so well together. They're so fluid in the attack, aren't they?
Yeah, they're brilliant. I've been really impressed not only with that fluidity going forward, but it's just been a really determined, defensively organised, sturdy unit. I think from back to front, there are so many things to talk about and so many things to be positive about, and we're starting to see a team really take shape, and that's the perfect platform. I think that confidence they're going to get from the France and Germany victories and getting out that group to play in the summer will be really important for those younger players. They'll be building on their domestic experiences and now their international ones, and they've got the personnel to perfectly complement it. I mean, no example was better, I think, than Van Dijk grabbing that really important equaliser in Gelsenkirchen. It kind of said everything you need to know about this Dutch team, that you can get goals from anywhere on the pitch and you can rely on any of these players. Yeah,
well, here's to a terrific 2019 for the Dutch national team. Thanks for joining me, Charlie.
No worries, Michael.
Thanks everyone for watching. Feel free to leave a like and subscribe to our channel. Thank you.